everyone in this group is vulnerable and authentic and honest and direct. And I love that, because I think that you can get behind the mask and really understand what people are really struggling with and what they really love and how you can help them.
Good morning, Suman.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
This is your second Contractor Coalition. You're with the Cherry Talent Group. And we were just talking right before we went live, just how, as you've gotten to know people and as this is your second one, it's just a different experience for you. Just tell us a little bit about what you've witnessed from the first one to now.
So I think for me, the first one, it was honestly, I was intimidated. I was like, oh my gosh, these incredible builders and Brad and all of you guys. I'm like, oh my God. And then my clients. And I sort of felt like, am I going to really be able to measure up, and how am I going to connect with these people and all those types of things. And I think this time around, I just feel like I know you guys because this event is so human connection based and it's so all about understanding and how to help people level up and those types of pieces. And it's so service based that now it's just such a different experience. I feel like, oh my gosh, I've built these friendships and I know them. And it's just, for me, it's a completely, I don't know, it just feels so good to be here, honestly.
Do you partner with a lot of other, events or things like that?
I mean, I have, but honestly, nothing's compared to this. Just the intimacy of this event and the knowledge that's being presented, and also just the human aspect of it is so different than what I've witnessed in other events, which are much more transactional based.
Mm-hmm. I feel like, the emotional level, and I mean, that's what attracted me to it as an attendee, 3.5 years ago. That's why I came, is I didn't want to be in a big room of 150 people or whatever, and I wanted to ask questions. I wanted to be involved. And you get all these questions between the sessions, at the dinners, at the breakfast, we get to meet with our partners. And you see the same people, the same attitudes every year, every session. People have kind of that hunger to connect with people and ask questions. What kind of questions are you hearing, or what part of conversations are you having, when we're not in the sessions, that are meaningful to you, that allow you to sort of understand, where people are at?
I think for us, since we specialize so much in the hiring and helping people keep those people and the HR part and all those pieces of it, just listening to how everyone really struggles with it and that they kind of beat themselves up. Like, I don't know why I can't get this right. And it's like, no, but nobody can, because hiring is messy. And I think that aspect of like being able to relay that, that you're not behind, that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. This is part of scaling. This is part of growing. This is part of the process. I think that's so universal and unique in this approach, is that everyone can feel like, oh, I'm not behind, and I can shift and I can level up and those kind of things. And those are really the conversations I'm having. And even on a deeper note, I think everyone in this group is vulnerable, and real and authentic and honest and direct. And I love that. Because I think that you can get behind the mask and really understand what people are really struggling with and what they really love and how you can help them, to that level.
Opening night, I don't know, were you in our part of the room where we did the open mic, where people shared how did that resonate with you?
I mean, I just think it's so amazing because, failure, mistakes, all those things are part of the process of owning a business and any business really, and in life itself, right? And being able to listen to people and their stories, but then how they were able to kind of have that grit and resilience to keep going. I think it just motivates and inspires other people who might be really scared to put themselves in that position, to allow themselves to know that you're supported, and you can get through anything, and your mistakes don't define you. You're falling down as part of the process and learning. I know and I'm sure you feel the same way as a business owner, like those mistakes, those failures, those are my greatest lessons, right? And it was what I learned and the wisdom from that, and also the experience of not doing that again.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the scars leave a mark, but then remember, the scar. It's funny because I have 3 little kids. I've got a scar on my hand. I'm just thinking about scars, and it's like I remember, accidentally cutting something as a kid, and the knife missed and went right through my hand, and I've never made that mistake again. And so it's like, from a business standpoint, it's nice not to repeat mistakes. We all do. And I think what's nice about the camaraderie is people share their stories, and they're very relatable. Because to your point, I think that's what gets sticky. People realize, I think entrepreneurship is a very lonely endeavor, and so I think one of the things that we try to do at Contractor Coalition is just make it very approachable, make it very relatable. And I love I see builders, at the breakfast table or at the lunch table, and you hear their stories that they're talking about, or they have a question for you, or something they've heard on one of our podcasts, or whatever. I just love the fact that it's getting real, because I think people learn pretty quick that pretending or keeping up with the Joneses just isn't really that interesting. No. And it's kind of a burden you don't need to carry.
No, it isn't. And I think when you do try to keep up with the Joneses is when you really go out of alignment with you and your brand and your values, and you try to chase someone else's dreams, but you need to focus on your own, systems and your own processes and how you want to do it, and really defining that. And I think that's what's really cool as well, and is that everyone's so unique. Everyone's building unique homes. They have their own kind of background around it and how they started and what they build. But then there's also this universal understanding of like, oh gosh, we're all in this together.
You're actually a perfect person. I've asked this question a few times, but they didn't know what it was. But being the fact that you interview and hire people, do you guys use DISC assessment, or you're aware of what it is? I would assume. Yes. Is that what you use for?
We don't use DISC. We use a similar assessment tool.
Okay, you're a perfect person for this. So I'm not going to hedge it with my thoughts on it. There's 5 of us now in leadership. You've got Brad, Nick, Morgan, Tyler, and myself. In terms of like spherical personalities, I guess I don't know how else to say it other than give it away, but it seems we're so different, and each one of us has maybe a 20% overlap with another person. Do you feel that we're pretty well represented in terms of all the segments of kind of like the color wheel, or whatever sort of like interview? Like, what observations would you have, in terms of like an HR department looking at our leadership team?
I feel like you guys really are so different, and that's what's so amazing about it, but you guys complement each other so well. And I think what's really unique is that you guys all know the other person's strengths and weaknesses, or not weaknesses, but what the other person's capacity is. And they're leaning on each other a lot around that.
There's also teasing a lot too.
I love that. I love that. And I think, and I was actually saying this yesterday, I think it's very authentic because you guys can tease, and because you can be real, and because you guys know each other so well, and because you're showing up from that really authentic place. It allows people to sort of really feel like safe, to be themselves, to ask the questions, to not feel intimidated, and also I think the fact that you guys are different, it allows builders to sort of feel like, okay, this is more me, or this is more me. And you understand that you don't have to be one way to build a beautiful home or to have a beautiful business. You can do it a lot of different ways. But I think also from a core value perspective, all of you guys really share those same core values. And I think that is the most important piece to it. Your styles might be different, the types of homes you might be different, your background, your experience, but the values that you bring as individuals and as humans are the same. And I think that's what makes it such an incredible dynamic.
I was really excited personally, but also professionally. This was the first of all the Contractor Coalitions where I've got to do the Boundaries Create Freedom part of it, and just something a little bit different. We've had a lot of learning about operations. It's just like, I feel like there's so many conversations and so many teaching moments, and like we do the Build Buzz Q&A where people can write in their questions, and I feel like we as a group continue to innovate things that make us pique our interest. Like, if you stay curious, you obviously are going to continue to keep on innovating. And from the first Contractor Coalition to this one, they keep changing, they keep getting better, but each one kind of has its own unique, almost like a flavor. It's like an ice cream flavor. Each one is just slightly different than the one before. You've only had a chance to have 2, but can you feel some subtle differences between even Omaha and here?
For sure. Omaha was amazing, and I thought it was a great event, but I do think this one just feels more real. And your presentation around the boundaries piece was just so impactful, because this is something that I talk about so much with my people as well. I'm very boundary based with my people. I'm like, you cannot overwork, because what we do is we have to be regulated when we're working with clients and we're working with candidates and with each other. And so having those boundaries are so important. And I think it's really important for especially with men, to say, okay, look, this is going to take away from this, and you have to have those boundaries with yourself, and being able to have those breaks, and being able, like we were talking about the nap thing. I just think it's a great idea. Like, why not take it there? I knew a guy I partnered with years ago, and he would take a nap every single day for like an hour, a certain time of day, lock it off, and it was just part of his routine, and it allowed him to have more capacity. And I think that's the thing. If you don't put the boundaries in, if you don't give yourself that availability to have the vacation, have the time with the family, all those things, your business will shrink. You won't be able to grow it.
Or you won't be able to take it. I think I was talking, Morgan's interview, we talked about it because it was really her schedule, and, talking about that. And so I love it when people share their story. And I think that's the really powerful thing, even about, these interviews and being here in the conversations, is just letting people understand that there are so many ways and so many things you can do to augment your personal life and your professional life. And I think just people sharing their experience allows you to be like, oh, I can do that. And they can add it. It's up to them then decide whether they want to add whatever element to their life or not.
Absolutely. And I think that's the thing. Everyone's going to step away from this, taking away whatever they need to that's meaningful for them, whether it be the boundaries, whether it be more process, whether it be the social media, or maybe all of it. But there's so many avenues of ways, depending on where you are in your business and where you want to really create your business, that this coalition really allows that as well.
You might appreciate this. I remember the first Contractor Coalition in Nashville, Brad had said, he was, how did he say it? Slow to hire and fast to fire. And I laughed. For my 20 years, I was the opposite. I was fast to hire and slow to fire. And it's a joke now with my team that I won't hire anybody ever again. I let my team hire. Yeah. And because it's a personality thing, I just like everybody. and so I'm like the worst. I'd be like, you're great. Like,
and my people are like, stop hiring them.
Totally. And it was funny, I was talking to David Wershay, he's actually from St. Cloud, Minnesota, and he had an interesting way of doing it. He interviews everybody first, but he says, I'm not hiring you, Joe is in the office, but I just want to meet you first. I thought that was really interesting. And I asked him, I said, well, from a funnel and of a time, like that's a lot. And he goes, yes, but he goes, if they don't fit the brand or the image or of what we're trying to do, like I need to get a pulse on it before we go too far down. His logic was interesting, because a lot of people say, well, even like what I was just saying, my team is going to interview them all, and if they make it all the way through the gauntlet, I'm kind of the last, stamp. But really, if they come to me, it's like, well, my team's already said, what am I? Unless it was just like an absolute deal killer or something, which I can't imagine that would even happen. So they're probably going to get hired.
Yeah, for sure. For me, I think I'm someone who struggles with delegating. That's something that I've really struggled with my business. And so that's something I'm really working on right now. So empowering my people to hire their people, I find it really empowering for them. I also will do the last minute sort of just make sure, but I'm the same. I love people. And so I'm just always ready to hire people. And my people are like, whoa, slow down, So I think whatever way that works for you and it feels good to you is great.
It's the right way, yeah.
But at the end of the day, just got to be on the same page about it.
Mm-hmm. From a sponsor and a partner, were you able to get clients from Omaha? And yeah, a lot. And so it's very valuable.
So valuable. I can't even, it's changed my business.
Really?
Yeah.
Even in 6 months?
Yeah, absolutely.
How about even people that weren't here? How did, from either marketing or however you facilitate your ROI on it, obviously you're meeting 30 to 45 people, at each one. The fact that you're here, were there people outside looking on saying oh, hey, were you able to get work even though people weren't even here? Or was it mostly capturing the people that were in attendance?
I think it was mostly the people that that attended, but also I think it was also like those people referred people to us as well, right? So most of our business, 90% of our business is referral based.
Yeah.
Somebody's used us or worked with us, have heard about us and something like that. And they're like, oh, I would love to work with you. Sometimes we do get the occasional social media pieces, but most of the time it's referral based. So we did have a lot of success from the event for sure.
That's great to hear. From our side, obviously we get to know, our partners and we appreciate the support, but as people, it's like, because I don't get to sit in all the sessions, it's like, I just like you. Shocker alert, right? I'd hire you. I was like, we'll see what my team says, but anyway, that would actually be a really funny thing. Like, Mark just hired a CEO of an HR company. We're like, yeah, it turns out they both have the same philosophy. Their team doesn't allow them to hire.
I'm literally not allowed to.
That's so funny.
They're like, my people are like so sweet. They're like, we're gonna just take this on because they're just harder on.
Yeah.
Like their
filters are
their filters
more black and white,
they're
more
just
analytical.
Much more analytical. I'm just a visionary who loves everyone and wants to give everyone hugs.
Yes. Okay, you're speaking my language.
Yeah.
Okay, you're hired.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect. I'm ready.
Well, thank you very much.
Absolutely. It's such a pleasure.
Yeah. If you're interested in attending the Contractor Coalition in the future, please head to contractorcoalitionsummit.com or follow us on Instagram to find out more.